Every third Thursday of the month is dope. That's when the education peeps come to pass the scope. Lending a voice and new perspectives on a topic chosen by the collective. Bringing relevant PD straight to you. So what do they call it? It's Past the Scope PDU coming to your life. Causing a passion for learning to ignite. Amplify your voice to make learning thrive. All we do is Past the Scope PDU coming to your life. Causing a passion for learning to ignite. From Thursday morning to Thursday night, all we do is Past the Scope.
Good evening, everyone. It is my favorite third Thursday of the month. It is Past the Scope EDU, where like-minded educators from across the globe get together on a like topic that's decided by the community and do what we can to ignite a passion for learning, one scope at a time. I'd like to thank you for joining us. It has been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. What's up, Margaret? Love you too, girl. It's been a wonderful, wonderful day. It is the after dark session. You're right. The scopes have been phenomenal today. And I will say the morning sessions have really elevated my day. This was a long day, even going into a holiday break vacation. Hey, Amberly, what's going on? How are you doing? We need to catch up. But it was a long day, and just hearing the words of inspirations, the stories, the heartfelt confessions, even the transparency, the vulnerability that was shown today in many of the scopes have been phenomenal, and really put a spark in my day, as it was much busier than I had anticipated. So to be completely honest with you, my body and my mind is a little drained, from everything that has happened today. But I'm here because I love Past the Scope EDU. I truly love Past the Scope EDU and everyone in the community. So with that being said, I won't be in front of you too long. I'm going to do what I can to talk about our topic this month. And our topic this month is hindsight is 2020. And the reality is, if we can live life in hindsight, we would make some of the mistakes that we make. But the beautiful thing about, you're right, Derek, what's going on, man? It has been a very powerful, reflective day. Love you too, Valerie. If we could live with hindsight, if we could see the future, things would be different, or would they? I would like to challenge you today by saying the things that have happened here in 2020, could it have made you a better person? Well, I'll tell you how I am better because of 2020 and everything has happened. Let me go back to the beginning of the year. My wife and I, we celebrate our birthdays in January. My birthday is January 14th, and hers is the 12th. And for Christmas, the previous year, I gave her an early anniversary gift. Our anniversary is in February, so we celebrate the entire month of January and then February. And of course, we were celebrating 19 years together, and I took her to Disney World in Orlando. It's our favorite place. I love Disney. There's not very many places you can go and just forget that you're an adult. Forget the problems of being an adult and just be free to be a kid again. And we were there from the 22nd through the 28th. Spent a lot of time there. Had a great time. I was tired, feet hurt from doing all that walking, but we really enjoyed ourselves. But with that being said, when we returned, I had this feeling that things were going to be different. And lo and behold, we were hearing news about COVID coming, and then it hit us, as a country. And as we know, COVID-19 has changed our lives, has changed everyone's lives. You cannot deny that your life has not been changed by COVID-19. We all learned some new terms, in our cultural lexicon, things like social distancing and flatten the curve. That was hot, for a while. We added those to our vocabulary, and we had to get used to going back to the car after trying to go into the store because we forgot our mask. Things like that happen. But we also saw, after we were trying to get accustomed to living life differently with COVID, we had the summer of social justice. And protests began to loom and change the way we looked at one another, beginning with the murder of George Floyd. And we began to memorize names and say them over again, like Ahmaud Arbery and excuse me, and Breonna Taylor, and on. That changed the face of what we did. And I lost a lot of friends during that time. Beginning in 2016, to be honest with you, I began to lose a lot of my friends who were afraid of the term ally. And I'm not ashamed to say it right now. I'm better because of it. There were people who did not want me to talk about the struggles of being black. I worked for a company that did not honor the fact that I was one of very few African Americans, and there was no support there at all. And I'm better because I'm no longer there. And it would not have happened without some of these changes. I've becoming more emboldened in saying what I believe and whom I believe in and whom I do not believe in. I'm better because of those things that have happened. I'm also better because working from home made me look at my wife a whole lot differently. My wife moved into my office. I got to see the things that she actually struggled with at work, being a black woman. And I appreciated the perseverance, which she shouldn't have to go through. Sorry, I didn't mean to get animated there. I saw all of that, and I learned to look at the struggle a whole lot differently. I'm better because of it. We also saw states flip, from red to blue, very historical. We now have the first black and Asian female vice president ever. And there was a struggle in fighting, still a fight, on recognizing that historical moment. But I'm better because of that struggle. We're seeing how divided we are as a country. But we've always been divided as a country. And I'd rather go into a situation knowing what I'm working with than for people to hide behind a veil or a facade. So I'm actually better for this. I'm better because of all of this that has happened. Before this year, you couldn't tell me that any of this would actually happen. But I guarantee you I'm better because of it. So there are 3 things that I want to pull from this, if I may, if you give me a few more moments to do so. 1, because of all of this, I've learned to cherish every moment with an attitude of gratitude. Many people, if you go to my Twitter page, you will actually see a post that I have up there that actually talks about when you look at certain words alphabetically and you give the A, B, C through Z a number from 1 through 26, but then you actually take the sum of all of those letters. When you get to the word knowledge, it doesn't come up to 100%. But when you get to the word attitude and you add everything up, it is a 100%, which tells me a lot. It tells me that the way that I approach something, my attitude towards that, is my sole determination of how I come out of it. See, and I choose to come out of things with gratitude. What is it that I learned from this? How did this make me grow? How did this challenge me to become a better person? See, Even if you were ignorant towards me, I can't let your ignorance define who I am or determine my joy. So I'm better because of it, because I now have an attitude of gratitude. And I challenge you to cherish those moments with that attitude of gratitude. We can spend a lot of time complaining. We can spend a lot of time, arguing and fussing. And I look at, my kids all the time. It's like, so did that moment of your 5-minute rant matter? No. Did it create separation between the two of you? Yes. So how can you tell me that it was worth it? So my kids are learning to cherish each moment, analyze each moment, and have an attitude of gratitude. Without all of this and being stuck in the house, I'm not sure that might not have happened. So yeah, I'm better because of it. Second thing, only check your rearview mirror, but move forward. When we look at the vehicles, sorry, my computer wants to act up here and change my music. Isn't that funny? When you look at your car, your rearview mirror is smaller than your windshield. It allows you to look back at what you have passed and what you're leaving behind, but it only gives you a small glimpse of it. It actually gives you a broader view of where you're heading. We need to, as we're saying bye to 2020 and everything that has happened, with an attitude of gratitude, we're able to look at that broad view of what's coming ahead of us, taking what we've learned from the past and what we have passed, and decide to move in a different direction. Reminds me of several things. When people hold on to the past, they never embrace the possibilities of what could happen because they're too concerned about what did happen. We can't treat 2021 like this. Everything happened for a reason. And I hope you have learned that is to make you better. So move forward, but just check your rearview mirror only just to check it. Move forward. Last thing, because I'm getting tired. Don't leave God out of this. Don't. I hope that when people meet me, they first understand that I'm unashamed of the gospel of Christ. Just not. And I also want to be caught guilty as charged if you accuse me of being a Christian. I want there to be evidence that dictates that I'm guilty of loving Christ and loving God. And we have seen when we leave God out of these situations, chaos happens. Our country was founded on certain principles. And as we evolve as a country, as we become richer, as we become more knowledgeable, as a society and as a world, we've forgotten where we come from. And if we continue to leave him out, the more chaotic it will become. Now, I'm not sure where you are, but I know where I am. That's why grace is the first thing that comes out of my mouth. And I heard several people mention about people blaming each other or calling people out. The cancel culture was hot. No, you got to start with grace. Start with grace. Because I am a recipient of grace every single day. There's not a moment to where my closet has been completely cleaned out. There's a lot of junk in there. And if it wasn't for the grace, I may not be here today. So those three things. Cherish every moment with an attitude of gratitude. Make sure you only check the rearview mirror, but move forward. And don't leave God out of it. And I guarantee you'll be able to look at 2020 in hindsight and be better because of it. I love y'all. Up next, we've got the phenomenal Nicole Taylor, one of the founding fathers founding mothers of Past the Scope EDU. I kind of encourage her to, to get on. Nicole Taylor is coming up next at 8:30 Central Standard Time. That's 9:30 for you Eastern folks. Let me work it out for you. 7:30 for Mountain, 6:30 Pacific. Just so you know, she'll be up next and giving a word. And if you're not following her on Twitter, that's at Nicole, and she spells it uniquely because she is a unique individual. Kenikole. Make sure you follow her and you check out her on Twitter because she'll be up next. Like I said, I'm passing the scope to you, Nicole. Love you. Love y'all. Peace.